And now we go to the 2020s?
Well, we still have a couple of brands we need to talk about.
He's going to explode. Look at him.
I know.
He's got so much pent-up rage.
I mean, we're still a brand that maybe not all the collectors will care about, but it's Moser.
Moser, I think, is very interesting because I think within the first 10 years of the Meylan family purchasing and owning the brand and running it, they were able to remove their logo from the dial and showcase and say, hey, listen, we don't need a logo. Like, you know who we are. No one else makes this watch, this dial, these funky colors. And I personally think it's very cool, and I'm sure you are bursting and overflowing with the amount of praise that you have for them. Please, Osama.
Yeah, I mean, you can't...
You don't like cheese? You don't like the Swiss icons?
Oh, the Swiss icon was cool. Man, so much drama.
I didn't have a problem with the... Well, okay, they had... but this is just like my personal take on it.
Go for it.
But the marketing... I mean, obviously it was marketing that worked in their favor in getting their name out.
Very rare.
Not very rare.
Hey, that's what it says on the box, okay?
You can say whatever you want on the box. You can say very Swiss made, you know.
Ooh, spicy.
And at some point, it was interesting because it was the Apple Watch at the same time, and then there was that. I remember when the Apple Watch launched. There was a bit of a scare in the Swiss watch industry. It's like, what is this going to do to our watches? Turns out it was the best thing that ever happened to your watches. But I remember there was this marketing campaign from Moser to pretty much say, hey, we don't need to be scared of this because we have a mechanical watch. And the result was a watch that looked exactly like the Apple Watch. But you couldn't read the time on it because there was nothing on the...
No.
It was a minute repeater.
No, okay, so that came out
That
later.
came after, yeah.
That came out later. You're talking about the Vanta Black dial.
Yeah. Well, in any case...
It started off with like the Apple Watch.
Yeah. So it was a very... You had three very interesting marketing campaigns.
Swiss Alp Watch. Right?
Yes, Swiss Alp Watch. Yes. So you had the one that looked exactly like an Apple Watch. No copyright there for some reason. There was the Swiss cheese watch, which, again, like trying to say that you're...
Come on.
The marketing campaign that I picked up from Moser is, we can do things better than anyone else. But the problem was, this was what I picked up. Like, oh, you're saying Swiss made? Here's Swiss made cheese. Right? You're saying Apple Watch, here's a better version of that. It looks exactly the same. You're talking Swiss icons, here's a mashup of everything put together, right? You think your watches are rare, ours are very rare, right?
Okay.
So there was that.
Like kind of like a one-up, you kind of thing.
Yes.
Come on.
I mean, you're not going to be censored. You can say whatever you feel like.
But no, I just didn't think that was the appropriate approach. Because if you really wanted to prove a point, you actually had to deliver. But I guess they
didn't deliver. They supply hairsprings to a lot of big brands. They
didn't make very rare watches.
I mean, they were at one point.
Okay, so but I'm this close to saying cut this off.
How about this? Okay, you say what you want to say, and then we'll decide later whether to cut it off.
Right.
All right. Go ahead.
But in any case, it was a marketing campaign that propelled them into being more known, up to a point where there were clubs that wanted to collaborate with them.
They were very aggressive.
Yes, yes, and that helped.
Make Swiss great again.
Yeah. Oh, there was that.
That was amazing.
There was that.
That was amazing.
So it was a lot of copying to push, but as you said, the ultimate end product, which is I can remove my logo from the dial, Yeah, I guess it all paid off at the end, but I still don't have a Moser.
I mean, the marketing campaign
You
they
don't
did.
have anything. You don't even have a Rolex.
Yeah, I do.
You just bought one. Like, okay, fine, but like without that,
No, I do.
you don't have a Rolex.
I don't have to wear and show you.
The Journe Guy wears other watches.
Oh yeah,
Oh my,
I love watches.
interesting.
Good ones.
Okay, interesting, interesting. Because like I always figured him for like someone who only like like buys 3 brands and that's it. Rolex not being one of them. But see,
We're not talking about my collection at this point.
Yeah, sorry. Well, that's another episode for
Yes,
another
you're
day.
gonna cut that.
Yeah. No, we'll keep it. It's all right. But see, the thing is, like, to win someone like you over, I think it needs more than just marketing, right?
Yeah.
You need something a bit more. Whereas to win someone like me over, you just, well, I guess I'm wearing a G-Shock, so like I guess it doesn't take a lot to impress me.
Yeah.
That being said, I still think that Moser makes some very well-made watches. I mean, like,
You want to know the well-made watches they have?
mhm.
I don't know. I don't know if I can say this.
Go for it. Go for it.
Is it known that the perpetual calendar was made by Andreas Strehler?
I don't think it's a very widely known.
I never knew that actually.
Actually, a lot of Moser's like complicated stuff came from Andreas Strehler.
But I mean, look at it from the other way. The way H. Moser grew so fast was because of the marketing in the beginning.
Yeah.
If it was not for those pieces, Moser would not have been as big, as fast as now.
There's no such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah.
And while that to me or someone like me was bad unrelated publicity, I still knew who they were.
Yeah.
I mean, except the Icons watch. I still remember when it came out. Do you know the amount of drama that came out of the watch?
Oof.
Forget about the people at the exhibition. They nearly got kicked out of the exhibition.
Yep.
And AP was one of the main pushing to kick them out. I mean, they nearly got kicked out and they had to pull back everything. I knew they sold some of them early. They took some orders from some retailers.
They took orders,
Yes.
they never delivered.
They never delivered.
And then the big one they kept in the
Yes.
in the safe apparently.
I mean, even media couldn't see them because they really threatened them.
And you had, aside from Moser, also you had Kronfeld. They popped up also in the late 2010s.
I remember in again Singapore and Indonesia, so basically Far East, like it was like a trend. One of the years where I went, it seemed like everyone owned a Parallax Tourbillon.
I mean, you looked at the movie and you're like,
4
whoa.
or 5 of them, like at any given point in time during like a gathering, like he got one. Like, wow, what's going on?
But look at it, like it's you looked at it and it was just, it looked, this was like long a datograph kind of like, wow,
It was very well finished.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
well finished. Very well finished.
Yes.
And I think with that,
We just have Debitoon, and Debitoon will be a perfect one to link to 2020.
So the rise of Debitoon. So like I think at this point Debitoon had finally found their footing. They were doing okay. Who was it? Pierre Jacques was now in charge, and
I think not anymore, huh?
well,
No,
at the time, right?
Sorry, you missed also Laurent Ferrier. Was a big one.
Yeah. So like Expatec turned watchmaker, and like he was doing a lot of interesting things.
But
hiding
also
tourbillons on the back and
a lot of
like
struggle.
But
which goes to show that not everything succeeded.
No, but see, the thing is, like, we went from going off by myself is scary. I'm never going to get paid. I'm never going to retire. Like, this is going to be a struggle, but I'm doing this purely for the passion. I want to share my love of watches with the world. I want to share what I can do with the world. I want to challenge the system. I want to create freaky watches, you know, to, wait, maybe I can do this, you know? Like, Richard Mille made it, you know? Journe is kind of making it. Urwerk is like out there, like people know what an Urwerk is. MB&F, like, yeah, like, you see one, you know what it is, you know, like it's unmistakable. I can do it too. But I need to start somewhere up there.
And Laurent Ferrier started off also with a tourbillon, a very cool tourbillon, you know, and De Bethune also, if I'm not mistaken, they also started with the tourbillon?
I can't remember what, like,
but they had some really
early
like,
DB one.
Wow.
I mean, like, you look at any 28, okay, beautiful. Like, you look at one of the, they had like a grand complication, perpetual calendar and split chronograph, like all insane. And then they had this one where they worked on like a special balance wheel that had like an observatory level chronometric certification, and like, I can't remember the price, but I remember thinking to myself, this isn't priced bad, you know,
Back
like
then.
for what it is. Yeah, back then, yeah, like it's priced okay. Like, why aren't more people like buying this, you know? And slowly but surely you began to see the Bethunes out there on the wrist, you know. I can't say the same for Laurent Ferrier because like that's outside the scope of this video, I think, of what happened to
I mean, De Bethune on the years kept fluctuating in terms of production.
Up and down, but no, because see, the thing is, like, the company was restructured, I feel like, way too many times.
Yes.
There was always like some rumor, you know, because as a collector, right, if I'm buying a watch, I don't want to be worried like about who's going to service it later down the line, right? Like, if I buy, a friend of ours bought an MCT, okay? What's he going to do with it? You know, like, if it breaks, you know, like, what's he going to do with it? Like, same thing if you buy an HYT, you know, like, I know today it's different, but like back then, if you were buying an HYT, you were like, you know, I'm committed, you know, like if that tube breaks or if there's like a bubble or leakage somewhere, you were the one who told me this, you had one, right? And you said that before you store it, you need to set the time to a certain hour and then push the crown in. There's like a process to make sure like the liquid doesn't jam it or get gunked up in the system, and then you have to like place the watch at a certain position. I can't remember.
The position, no, it depends. The Renault and Papy movement is actually much more forgiving.
Okay, no, the older ones.
The older ones had issues.
Okay, so if you were gonna buy like a De Bethune, and knowing as a collector, because like you hear stuff, like if you were that deep into the weeds of the industry that you know what a De Bethune is, then you know like, oh, I heard AP is gonna buy them out. Oh, I heard like this Russian conglomerate who bought like whatever is gonna like, you know, bid for the brand. The future of the brand is uncertain. You don't know if they're going to still maintain their same level of exclusivity. You don't know if the head watchmaker is going to retain the same level of creativity and ability to innovate if he wants. Like maybe I don't know. Like, do I buy one? Do I
servicing
not buy one?
is that's one of the things that I think back then at least would keep people on edge. Like, do I want to buy? I was actually mentioning this about Roger Smith a few days ago to someone, maybe I think it was you. I've always wanted a Roger Smith, but one of the things that always kept me kind of hesitant, aside from pricing and waiting list, was if I needed to service this watch, I would have to figure out how to get it back to him. And there is no retailer around that I can drop the watch off and say, here, you know, and like, if you're living in, let's say you're a client and you're in Russia, what are you gonna do, right?
Book a ticket to the Isle of Man.
And see, so there is that part where servicing plays. Vianney Altair was one of those guys that also had me thinking service. Konstantin Shakin, because he was in Russia, you know, and so it's like, what am I going to do if I have the service to watch? And that's one of the things I think that is a bit of a now it's a lot easier, but because now the community is so big, it's so easy to just send someone over to Geneva, or you know, you can.
Yeah, someone's always going.
Someone's always going, picking up or dropping off or however it be. But back in the day, trust wasn't. If you weren't in a good community, for most people, I just don't see how you would hand off your Roger Smith to someone and say, "Hey, I'll get you a ticket to go to the Isle of Man." Not London, the Isle of Man.